This is the Time Is Now podcast, presented by IRG.
Welcome to the Time Is Now podcast, hosted by your team at IRG. I am your host, Justin Villa. And of course, with me always, I am joined with members of the IRG team, Jengis Bayirli and Giovanna Guzman, the broker, the boss. And we are in a special location, guys. I think this is a unique project in a unique location. And obviously, we have a special guest, the VP of Sales from the project, Melissa Barragán. Thank you so much for having us here today. And we're going to dive deep into this project that I think is super unique. It's one of a kind in a location that is beyond magical. And obviously to have a brand like Bentley, I think is super, super unique. Well, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for being here. And let's dive into this awesome project. We are in Sunny Isles. We are in the sales gallery of the Bentley Residences. And I think let's start off with the location, right? I think this is a prime location. We're beachfront. Exactly. We have amazing views both towards the city and obviously towards the ocean. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about a little bit about that. If you want to talk about what projects are in the area, what's coming, I mean, it's a unique opportunity, I think, for investors to get in now. I know that there's some things we're gonna talk about a little later on, but yeah, let's start about the location.
What's this location so special?
So I love Sunny Isles. I think Sunny Isles is very special because it's 1.7 miles long. It's a little strip along Collins, starting on 163rd-ish, a little bit before that, right after Oliver Park. And then you're just a little strip on Collins all the way down to, I would say, like 200th Street almost. That's 1.7 miles, but there's more apartments, over 5 million here in this little area than anywhere else in Miami.
Exactly.
Another thing that I think makes Sunny Isles amazing is that it's the most private beach in Miami.
That's true.
With that being said, it's also the most clean. It's not really accessible to the masses or to the public. If you're a celebrity or somebody who's really famous, you could go to the beach in Sunny Isles and you don't have to worry about everyone coming up to you, bothering you. You have a little bit more privacy. And it's more secure, right? So you're not going to see sometimes you have these pathways along the beach where people are biking or walking, and it just draws a big crowd. And sometimes there's people hanging out around at night. So I think the fact that they do keep Sunny Isles private without the beach walk is really nice, because it's somewhere that's really quiet and that you could really enjoy the ocean, what Miami has to offer. Also, there's 7 public parks in Sunny Isles, which is because of the density of how many buildings there are here. They all have public Wi-Fi, so it's a great location. There's a little bit of tourism, but you're not feeling it. Most of these residential areas are pretty spread out. So I think as far as, pricing is always really interesting to look at as well, because if you're looking at an oceanfront property in Miami Beach or anywhere south of here, I mean, the price is double.
Exactly.
Especially for new construction. So you're looking at $5,000 a foot, $10,000 a foot. Meanwhile, here you can get, $1,500 a foot, $2,700 a foot. So there's value in that.
And
of course, it's also nice that, you're getting a better price, but you're also getting more privacy.
Definitely.
So you're getting more for your money and you're getting a better lifestyle. You're out of the tourist part and all the hotels and everything like that. So I think, I had a client that said to me 2 days ago, she's like, I went walking on the beach with my boyfriend on the beach and it was such a zoo. And we love where we live because we come out and we go to the beach and there's nobody. And we have that peace of mind. So I think Sunny Isles is really interesting in that regard. It's also very centrally located.
Super.
Yes.
Right?
Super.
So you're 30 minutes from any airport. You're 30 minutes from Miami International. You're 30 minutes from Fort Lauderdale. You're 30 minutes from Opa-locka. So if you're flying a lot or traveling, it gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of where you come in and out of. Also, you're 30 minutes away from anywhere really in Miami. Or Fort Lauderdale. If you want to go to dinner in Las Olas, you're 30 minutes away. If you want to go to Wynwood or Design District or South Beach or Brickell, it's you're literally 30 minutes away from anywhere. So if you like your nice car and you want to go out for a nice drive on the town or a nice dinner, I think it's a really nice place where it's still close enough to everything that we love about Miami, but it's also a little bit more peaceful and kind of a little bit more further away than the crowds are.
Definitely. Yeah. I think, obviously that exclusivity that clients will get here, right? I think this area kind of is more family oriented. So it's designed for that big family that wants to have the privacy of the beach and not have that crazy ness of like South Beach and things like that, but still have access. Literally, you walk downstairs and you're in the beach.
Of course.
So I think having that is definitely a plus. I think obviously after the pandemic, the Miami lifestyle and what luxury has come to be in Miami has obviously elevated. And now obviously having Bentley as one of these brands that had partnered with developers to make a tower, which is spectacular, I think is definitely a plus. Let's talk a little bit about the building, right? So, I mean, the building is going to be, obviously, Desert's the developer. He's very well known here in the Sunny Isles area for developments. But, I mean, how hands-on is Bentley?
Very hands-on. I mean, Gil is very hands-on. He's pretty much here almost every day. He's very involved in every little aspect of it, and they've really been, working on this for years now, and it's a true partnership. So they sit together in meetings. Bentley car designers are doing the interior design of the entire building. So everything that you see in the lobbies is going to be designed by Bentley, which means that the Bentley car designers are picking the finishes. They're picking the woods, they're picking the leathers, and Desert's part of this whole process with the architects, where they're really coming together and bringing the greatest minds all into one building. I think you'll see that, Gil wanted to do something different here. I think we can all agree that Bentley wanted to really maximize this idea of indoor-outdoor lifestyle and this amazing weather that we have in Miami. So how do you transform condo living to feel more like a house? And that's something that Desert was, really passionate about. So we come to a building where you don't feel trapped in an apartment anymore. Now every unit has their own private pool. You're getting 1,000, 2,000 square feet of private terrace space that you're not paying maintenance or taxes on. And then you have the ability to have this elevator, which gives you that privacy that most people are looking for in a condo, especially after COVID. You saw that people wanted to rent in the Porsche because they didn't want to be in the elevator with people. So I think that was something that it's almost like a hybrid of like living in a 5-star resort and a single family home, but on the beach. So I think that gives it...
Which is very unique because you don't find this design in any other condos.
Exactly. I mean, the fact that Bentley's the first Bentley building in the world, so it's one of a kind, it's something really different. And they're kind of taking condo living and really changing the way that people live. Mm-hmm. When you look at the floor plan, you really can't compare this to any other project in Miami. And there's so many new buildings in Miami coming up, but there's nothing like this.
There's nothing like this.
And it's so unique because even in the Porsche tower that he designed, because the cars are going up to the unit, can you just a little bit explain about it in more detail, like how this one is going to be a little bit different or more technology and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the car elevator, that was the first time that they ever did it was at the Porsche building. Yeah. Now Otis is actually the one that's going to be building this elevator. And they didn't want to build the Porsche one because it was the first one. But now that they've seen that it works and that people are actually loving it, it's going to be, a much more improved system. 10 years have passed, so technology flies. You can only imagine. It's 25% faster, so it's 1,000 feet per minute. Wow. Now it's 4 car elevators instead of 3, so every line has their own elevator. Yeah. It's really like taking a Disney ride every day on your way home.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, Giovanna and I were talking literally before that the floor plans are incredible. Right?
The flow, how
like you said, it's a house in the skies, basically. Yeah. Just the way that it's completely designed. I know that all the masters come with a sauna.
A sauna, heated marble floors, towel warmers,
outdoor shower,
the smart toilets, the outdoor shower. Exactly. The pools are great. Everybody has their own private pool. I mean, if we did have to do quarantine, I think that would be like the best apartment to be stuck in.
100%. 100%. It's basically a house.
And I know some people who doesn't want to be in the ocean because of the sharks. They can swim in their pool in their
own unit.
Another benefit that people don't really think about, like I have pets, right? Mm-hmm. But like, how cool is it if you have a dog to have like this huge balcony with a pool and an outdoor shower? You can bathe your dog. You can essentially have so much more space for your family. Maybe a barbecue on a Sunday, and you have the kids and the family all together. I mean, it's just so great for entertaining. In an apartment, you're kind of limited to your living room.
Exactly.
But here now you have all this outdoor terrace, which really opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah,
100%.
And let's talk about the amenities. Obviously, this is a big building, and it's going to have amazing amenities. So let's talk about those a little bit.
So on the first level, one of my favorite amenities that we have is the restaurant. We have a private restaurant. It's going to be run by Todd English. Mm-hmm. Todd English is a Michelin chef. He's going to have an apartment in the building. So
that's perfect.
Amazing.
Exactly. It's like you have
better than that?
A private chef every single day in your building, and the restaurant's open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And let's talk about that because people have this perception that, because it's Ritz or it's a hotel brand, I'm going to have better service. Meanwhile, is not true.
No, it's not. Yeah.
If you're a resident living in Sunny Isles in a hotel branded building, you don't really have that room service.
No.
At 6 p.m., the food is over. You're not really getting the quality of food, or they're charging you $500 for lunch.
Exactly.
So the fact that you have this amazing food service, you have a chef who's at your fingertips, available 7 days a week, pretty much all day long, all night. Nobody's going to eat dinner at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So if you're cutting off food at that
Of course
time,
not.
you're cutting off, a very important time where people come home, they want to be in their building, and the convenience and the quality of the food. So sometimes I'm sure you guys all do Uber Eats, but the quality's not there after it travels in the car.
Yeah.
It's the freshness is kind of gone.
Definitely.
So I think that's really important, and the ability that you have like a party planner essentially. So if it's your birthday or you want to do like a special event, now the chef is going to cater to you. I have clients in the Porsche that they have special diets. So they actually like text the chef what they want, certain things. They make them like a meal prep plan.
Oh, that's cool.
So, it really is kind of like taking your living to a whole new level, even further than what you would get in a hotel, because you're getting that personalized service, because there's only very few residents that are actually there full time.
Yeah.
And I think also, just because it's a branded a building, and it's a car experience, Bentley, I'm sure that all the owners are very familiar with the car. Either they own a Bentley or in the style. So you're just going to be living with a mindset, like a mindset of individuals in the, those are going to be your neighbors. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because sometimes, when you want to purchase, you're not just purchasing in any building. You're purchasing people you have your same
Yeah, you
style.
like your same circle.
Yes, because, it's very specific what, this building can offer, which is, the brand itself, that Bentley.
And I think also when the apartments start at 5.8 million, like you want to meet these neighbors. You want to have this social
Exactly.
life. It's like you're part of a private
Yes.
members
Exactly.
club with like
You
some
have
of
your
the
own
best
members
people,
club.
Yeah.
which is great. I mean, not only do you have all of the amenities, but you're also getting events. And this is something that also doesn't get talked about enough. At the Porsche building, they do so many events. Like every month they're doing events for Mother's Day. They did an event for Cinco de Mayo. They're doing an event for, they did like a wine tasting with an illusionist, the magician. So it's really like they built this community, and people become friends, and they go out on the boat together, and it just, their kids are playing, and it's really, really nice to have that in a building. And I don't see these buildings doing that enough.
No.
Like these special events. And I feel like we really have an amazing team that really gets everybody to engage together, because the building is so private. When you do want to socialize, you have this social aspect as well.
100%.
Also, as you mentioned, the prices, which is starting from 5.8 million, I think it's an amazing opportunity to be in a building like this with these square feet prices, because when you look at some other buildings nearby with the branded residences, the prices start minimum like $2,500, it goes to like $4,000, which is crazy compared to the brand that like what you are giving as a building.
And
Correct?
Beachfront.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also like
And
you
you
have
have your
buildings
car
that are
up
big.
next to you.
And then you have buildings that maybe are car branded, but it's like they have one bedrooms at like 600,000 or like 900,000, and then those people buy as investors, and then they rent it to other people. So you're
Yeah.
losing the quality of people
You're
in the
losing the
building.
quality.
Or
And that
here
happens a
you're
lot.
dealing at a very high level.
Exactly. Minimum 3 bedrooms and yeah.
Completely.
Exactly.
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about more amenities, because this building has a bunch of them. And I know one of Jengus's favorites, the cigar lounge. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So the cigar lounge is cool because it's a party room or a cigar lounge. I think this gives the residents, a really great way to kind of be like, hey, meet me downstairs, let's have a Macallan, let's have a cigar. So you have a bar in the lobby with the restaurant. You also have a Macallan bar upstairs. This is where it feels more like a members lounge. Because anybody can come in the lobby. Maybe we're showing a unit, there's other realtors in the lobby, but nobody's going to be up in
Okay.
the lobby bar on the second floor of the Macallan bar unless you're a resident
Exactly.
living there. So it gives it like a little bit of separation from, just the regular traffic of the building. You have a private dining room. There's a private movie theater that's designed like the interior of a car. So
That's
it feels
cool.
like you're in a
That's so
Bentley.
cool.
And one thing that I loved about it is that they did love seats. So you can like sit next to
Yeah.
your partner, and there's not that separation between you. I
Right.
think that was really nice.
super nice.
We have the simulator. So we have a car simulator, we have a sports simulator. They just love the car racing, It's like
Yeah,
it's
of
a,
Yeah.
Of
so I
course.
think that gives the kids also really like them. Now we're doing like video game stations, Xbox stations. So this is something of like all ages. And then the sports simulator, you can do Top Golf or you can do soccer, and there's a lot of different games that you could play virtually through that system. And then we also have a kids room, which we didn't have at the Porsche. So that's something that's really nice as well. If you want to leave your kids downstairs, you want to use the concierge to get you a nanny, a dog walker, you're able to do those things, and maybe they'll have activities for the kids as well. I know At the Porsche, they teach the kids how to make sushi, or they do like a s'mores
That's
bonfire and movie night on the beach. So all of these things I think really add to the lifestyle and just go beyond the condo living to more of like a community.
Definitely.
And I think that's really nice. On the fifth and sixth floor, what I love about that is like that's the wellness area. So everything
Which is
we've
super
seen
cool.
in Miami is everywhere really.
That's
I think-
today's life now.
Yeah,
Yep.
people are so focused on wellness. Even Todd English was telling us the other day, like he's seeing this theme reoccurring all throughout the world, where people are really just wanting to feel healthier and live a better life. So the fact that we have an indoor-outdoor gym, this is the most beautiful
So
gym
cool.
I've seen in Miami.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, it makes you want to go to the gym.
Oh,
Like-
100%.
Exactly.
Even if you're just gonna want to go to the gym and sit there and just
But,
look at the view.
Enjoy the
Like, you
view.
were to wake up at 6 a.m. and go downstairs just to watch the sunrise
Yeah,
and get your
exactly.
cardio in. You know, the fact that we have fitness classes and they're
Yeah.
complimentary, I think that also, you know, it's kind of easier to work out when you go with your friend. Like, hey, meet me
Exactly.
downstairs,
Of
let's go to the class together. So it kind of helps when you're working out as well. It motivates you. The fact that if you want like a personal trainer, we have a steam and sauna that's amazing. And then I love that we have a salon. So if you
Oh,
want to
that's
get
very
your
practical.
barber
That's
to
cool.
come, you want to get your nails done, you want to get your hair done, makeup, you can bring your own people, they can bring people for you. There's treatment rooms for massages and facials, and then my favorite part is the pet spa. So while you're getting your hair done, your pet can also be getting groomed, and I think that's just really nice that everybody's being taken care of, the pets, the children, and the residents.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Now let's talk a little bit about the units themselves, right? So I know that there's only floor plans in the whole building. There's 3 and 4 bedrooms, but let's talk a little bit about the units themselves.
Okay, so we have 2 options for the 3 bedrooms. We have the Bentayga and the Baclar, which face the city. Now, the city is also really nice because during sunset time, you know, getting to see that city, especially from the Bentayga unit where you see downtown Miami and you're seeing the inlet, you're seeing the boats passing by with the intercoastal. And then on the Bentayga, you're getting a little bit more side ocean view. So it's almost like you're getting the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
It's 2,835 square feet on the inside, but altogether, when you factor in the 3-car garage and the balconies, you're getting anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 square feet of terrace space.
Which is huge.
Which
is really
almost-
big.
Yeah.
And what I like about also the west side units is that even though it's a 3-bedroom, you could remove one wall and have like a huge master and almost like a guest house by the pool, like you would in a house.
Okay.
So there's options for that. Again, I really love when you're on the little bit higher floors, how you're getting those city and sunset views in Miami. They're just absolutely beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a good value as well, because if you look at like the price that those west units are going for, it's almost like you're paying the same price inland, but here you're on the ocean,
You're in the
and you
ocean.
get the city view. So
Exactly.
it's really nice. On the oceanfront unit, now that is like, you know, obviously the best floor plan that we have, other than the combo, which I'll get to that one. But the ocean one, you have a 4-car garage, which is really important because in Porsche we had 2 garages,
Right.
and we found that it was like not enough. Like it's your husband, the wife, and then the kids,
kids.
and you know,
Exactly.
you have family,
Exactly.
you have friends. So having a 4-car garage, I think Gil said to the architect, like, I need the best floor plan in Miami. I need to do better than the West plan. And that's because it was all going to be the West plan. And
Yeah.
then they came up with this unit, the Azure and the Arnage, which, first of all, when you walk in, you have the pool there. So you're seeing the pool in the ocean.
Yes.
You have a private entry, seeing those 4 cars, Bentleys, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, whatever you want to see in your living room. The kitchen totally transformed. So it's like in the space if you want it to be, or it can completely hide, which I
Exactly.
think is very modern. It just has all the latest technology. And then in your master bedroom, you have access to your terrace, and then you have a shower with a view of the ocean, but you also have an outdoor shower.
I love
Which
that.
is like
I think that's
amazing.
incredible. Yes.
And then the bathrooms, like I said, have heated marble floors. They all come with private saunas, the Totos, a towel warming drawer, a TV in the mirror.
Yeah, you showed me that,
Yes.
and I was like, whoa. I didn't even know that was there. But yeah, it's definitely pretty cool.
And then I also like that the master is like separate than the guest bedrooms. So the guest bedrooms are like all the way in the back of the apartment, and they have their own private balcony. So you're seeing this like idea of like privacy even within the apartment. Like
Right.
you're still getting that separation. So your kids can be on their balcony, you're on the other balcony, and it really feels like a home and a house. And then there's also space in the garage. It's not counted as like interior square footage, but it's extra space. So you can do an office, put a pool table.
Right.
It has AC. So it's a little bit of a flex space, and I think we all need storage.
Yeah.
So I think that also adds some value there as well.
Oh, for sure.
And let's talk about those combo units, because
Yeah,
those are super, super interesting.
Okay, so that's definitely, you know, my favorite, because now you have a 7-car garage.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a flow-through apartment. So that's 1 car for every day of the week.
Yeah, literally.
Exactly.
And the thing is, like, if you have a car collection, and I have like clients like this where they have 7 cars,
Yes,
10
they do.
cars, and then it's like there's no building that they can really go to
There's
that will
no way.
accommodate that.
Not even close.
Even in a house, like
Yeah.
you can't even
Yeah.
You
accommodate
can't.
the cars.
You can't.
Especially like what happens if a hurricane comes and you have 7 cars.
What do you do with the cars?
What do you do with the
Exactly.
cars?
You need
So,
to-
and then now you got to pay a storage and a warehouse, and it's far away, and it's just kind of like gets in the way of your enjoyment of these cars and being able to switch. One day you want to drive one car, the next day you want to drive the other
Exactly.
car. I found that people that, like, for example, have a Bugatti, they're not going to want to valet that car.
Of course not.
Of course. No.
So, I mean, and I have been through some car issues myself, and I could tell you, when you have an expensive car, when you love cars, being able to keep your valuables in the car, being able to just have your car under AC, right? So it doesn't rust or the salt water, you don't worry about flooding. I mean, it's really the best thing. I mean, I love being on the beach. You know, being in a house feels kind of lonely sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of nice that you are around people, you're on the beach, but you also have the ability to like come in and out without really being disturbed by anybody.
Yes.
100%. Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's a lot of information. I think it's definitely super, super helpful. Not only for us, which I think it's important to come and visit you
Yes,
to get all this
more often.
information, and we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And of course, for those of you who are watching or listening and you want to get a little bit more information, please don't hesitate to contact us. You could reach us on literally every platform that's out there: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, you name it. But yeah, remember that if you guys need anything or have any questions, we are always here to help.
One more thing that I want to talk about is price per
course.
square foot, because this is something that everybody always talks about, right?
Sure.
And I
Okay.
think that we need to draw attention to this, because it's like, where other building do you have where you buy 3,000 square feet and they're giving you 6,000 square feet?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our maintenance
great
is $1.57 a foot, and we're charging you only on the inside, yet we're giving you 3,000 of other space.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're not paying taxes, you're not paying maintenance on this extra space, and you're getting the double of your value, I mean, I think that's pretty incredible.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's information that I think you guys need to come, because we got to get you all that information, definitely. But
And
again,
we have one penthouse left. So we sold the north penthouse, but the south penthouse is still available. So if you want a rooftop pool and a 7-car garage and, you know,
Exactly.
the coolest unit in the building, I think also when you compare it to what other penthouses are selling for,
Yeah.
even like in
the
Brickell,
pricing is amazing.
the
Let me
pricing
tell
is
you.
great, and the value's there.
it is.
Yeah,
It
great
definitely
investment
is.
opportunity.
A
Definitely.
lot of value
Yeah,
there.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Melissa.
you.
It's
Thank you,
been great,
guys.
and you know, a lot of information here, very valuable information, and definitely, you know, I think it's people can hear now. You have to take action right now. That we always say that time is now.
We're getting our
Because-
bank loan. So we need a couple more deals before our bank loan. We need them like right now. So I think it's a really good time to come in and
Exactly.
try to secure your residence here.
Let's make it happen.
Yep, the time is now.
That time is now. Thank
Well,
you so much.
thank you so
Melissa.
much.
Thank you guys.
This is the Time Is Now podcast, presented by IRG.